Hello viewers, welcome to Sunday Politics on Trust Television, coming to you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Ali M. Ali, your host. Today we are discussing politics at the subnational level. We are discussing the changing dynamics of Bauchi politics and the possibility of a third force making a surprise upset in the coming general polls in 2023. Bauchi State is perhaps the cradle of radical politics of northern Nigeria, and indeed of the nation. It was from the Boers of Bauchi discussion cycle, for example, founded by the late fairy journalist, poet, Islamic scholar, politician, and a whole lot of other things. The late Saad Zungur, that left-wing Nigerian Northern Element Progressive Association, NEPA, was formed in 1946 by the late Saad Zungur. Well, colonial authorities were uncomfortable by his strong views, so expectedly they banned that association in 1949 because, like I said, of its radical views against colonial interest. But a year later, Saad Zungur came up with another party, the Northern Element Progressive Union, NEPO. Well, NEPO, if you know history of Nigeria's political evolution, it was the precursor of PRP, that is People Redemption Party in the Second Republic. Bauchi has lived up to its billing as a radical political base since the dawn of the Fourth Republic in 1999. It has consistently voted against the party at the center until 2015, when the people voted their choice, President Muhammadu Buhari of the All Progressive Congress. The politics in Bauchi always oscillate between two extremes, not along a clear-cut ideology, apart from that radicalism and, if you like, intolerance of those in power after a time. Well, another election is approaching. There is a seeming discontent with the status quo. The opposition APC in the state is facing challenges, just like the ruling PDP, that is the People's Democratic Party, is facing altogether a different challenge. This has made some watchers of the ongoing realignment of forces and, if you like, horse trading, to come to the conclusion that a third force may be underway to break a seeming tie. Joining me to discuss the changing dynamics of Bauchi politics is Senator Halluru Dauda Jika, currently representing Bauchi Central in the 9th Assembly. You are welcome to the program.
Thank you, Elijah.
Yes. Now, Senator Jika holds the traditional title of Dokachin Bauchi. He was Speaker of the Bauchi House of Assembly and represented the Darazo Ganjua Federal Constituency in the 8th National Assembly, and also is the gubernatorial candidate of the New Nigerian People's Party in Bauchi State. We take a quick break, and when we come back, our guest will give us an assessment of politics in recent time. Stay tuned. Welcome back. And if you are just tuning in, you are watching Sunday Politics on Trust Television. Our guest is Senator Halluru Jika, Dokachin Bauchi, and the NNPP gubernatorial candidate in Bauchi State. Now, before we went on break, I was saying about the radical nature of Bauchi State and the politics of Bauchi State. And there are a lot of people have this feeling that there is the changing dynamics. Do you share the view that the dynamics of Bauchi politics is changing?
Thank you very much for having me, Elijah Ali. First of all, Bauchi State has always been a revolutionary state. Bauchi is the bedrock of northern politics in Nigeria. And for me, my inspiration to join politics is born out of the passion for me to be useful to the society. And to be useful means that to support youth and women, because you will agree with me, they are the backbone of the society. And I think I'm duty bound to do whatever means possible to support those category of people in the society. I have started from the school in unionism, and then later on as a youth leader, then to the State Assembly, the House of Representatives, and now I'm in the Senate. And also possibly the game is going to change, inshallah, come 2023 for the #1 seat of Bauchi State.
Yes. Well, you see, Senator, we're saying the changing dynamics of Bauchi politics now. If you look at it now, watchers say there is, well, if you like, a stalemate, given what's happening in the ruling People's Democratic Party, a lot of defection, those who helped the current administration into office after defecting from your former party, for example, in 2019. They are also not totally satisfied with the, and then what's happening in the APC. Incidentally, you are a member of the APC until recently. So all these are coming together. People are saying it's neither the PDP or the APC, and that possibly a third force may be on the way. Now, well, clearly no one can begrudge your foray, your achievement in the political space in Bauchi, having been a state assembly member, being a speaker, for example. But what we're saying now is the dynamics now, the involvement of some of the elements you listed, like youth, women. Are they asking something different from what they are used to?
All right, thank you very much, Alhaji Ali. You see, Bauchi, now the politics of Bauchi is about an individual. Those parties, they have lacked internal democracy, and the reward system is very poor. That is what is prompting all their members to leave the party, or to abandon the party and join where they feel the justice, fairness, and equity will be done to them. That is why NMPP is not just a party, it's a movement, which for the northern Nigeria, we believe in most of the states in the northern Nigeria, NMPP is the party to beat now anytime, because people have graduated from the analog way of playing politics to the digital way of doing politics, because now it's going to be individual politics, no more party politics, no longer party politics as usual.
Now, would you say now, for example, that people look at individuals now? A lot of people say that. People make a reference to some elements in 2019 who left the APC, brought in another party, and also coasted to victory. Would you now, given this scenario now, do you see yourself as a representative of that, perhaps,
exactly.
tendency now?
Exactly, because I've done it once, twice, three, and consecutively I was elected four times in my constituency, from Ganjo West to Ganjo Adarazo, to Bauchi Central, representing 7 local governments, 6 local governments, and now possibly, inshallah, the 20 local governments.
Now, you say that perhaps having experienced that yourself, still talking about the dynamics of Bauchi politics. We know a lot of elements from history. Now they've resisted, traditional. If you look at from the days of NEPU, PRP, MPN, the people of Bauchi have expressed some level of independence. Would you say that streak of rebellion is still there?
Yeah, we're expecting more of that wind that is about to, the tsunamis which will come. You see, if you may recall that in the last election, that's the 2019 election, a member of the State Assembly representing the Bauchi Central was on the platform of NMPP. And the member of the House of Representatives for Sam Bauchi Federal Constituency is from PRP. And the governor was from PDP, presidential APC and senatorial APC. So that's to show you the dynamism or the this thing of the diversity of the and the awareness, the level of awareness of Bauchi people. And the same thing happened in the other zone, which is the northern zone of the state.
Now, still, before we go on a short break, if you look at Bauchi from time immemorial, in the old Bauchi, for example, when you were together with Gombe before it was split, it has always been that there is the tendency among the various constituents of Bauchi to have people from some other zones. Like, for example, now, in Bauchi, there is this, maybe silent understanding that unless you are from Bauchi South, you are not likely to be governor. And now you are from Bauchi Central. Do you see you breaking that jinx that people, unless you are from Bauchi South, you are not likely to make it to the gubernatorial, to clean the gubernatorial seat, especially with the dawn of the Fourth Republic. If you look at Ahmed Adamu Mazu from Bauchi South, his successor, Isai Guda from Bauchi South, his other successor is successor to Mohamed Abdullahi from Bauchi South, always choosing a running mate from Katagum zone. Now you are from the central.
Yes.
How do you see, how do you rate your chances?
Well, I'm going to be the game changer, inshallah, because we have to bring an end to this Bauchi-Katagun dichotomy or sectional politics. That has to change in Bauchi. That is what the youths and women of Bauchi are agitating for. We'll have to neutralize that. We have to become the bridge builders so that if a governor emerges from the central zone, so a northern part of Bauchi will be assured that maybe next time will be their turn. So this is what we hope to achieve, and God willing, it's going to happen, inshallah.
Now, when you say you want to build bridges between the dichotomies, a lot of viewers will want to know how you're going to build that bridge. Is it that perhaps you're going to look in the direction of Bauchi for a running mate? Or I don't know about the details now. Because some will say, yeah, traditionally it's always been Bauchi and Katagum zone, and you're from the central.
Yeah, now, you've said it all. It's a tradition, but it's not in the constitution. And as a lawmaker, politics is all about calculation. And I have calculated carefully, and I picked my running mate from the northern part of Bauchi, and I am from the central. So, and I think we have done our homework. Bauchi Emirate, Katagun Emirate, but in the center we have Ningi Emirate, which is tilted towards Bauchi Emirate, and we have Misau Emirate, which is tilted towards Katagun Emirate, and I have come from the part of Bauchi Emirate that form the other part of the central zone. So that makes me with a dual advantage of Bauchi South and Bauchi Central. So I think that will work really for us, inshallah.
Yes. Well, before we continue, we go on a short break, and when we return, Senator, we want you to dwell on, well, the Electoral Act, the provisions of the Electoral Act, where it involves some of you who left one party to join another party. We're going to take a break, and when we return, we continue with the program. Don't go away.
That's great. That's good. TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. You are watching Sunday Politics on Trust Television. Just before we went on break, our guest, Senator Haliru Daudejika, spoke on the changing dynamics of Bauchi politics and spoke, well, about youth and women, their involvement, who form the bulk of voters. Now, just before we went on break, I said perhaps the Electoral Act, certain provisions of the Electoral Act would appear that people who left another party, because after the APC primaries, as a member of the APC primaries, you left for the NNPP. Now, a lot of people are skeptical whether perhaps you are eligible to run, especially if you look at certain sections of the Electoral Act that made clearly spell out that, in fact, even criminalizes some aspects of if you have double nomination or you go, yes. So how do you react to that? What is your status, illegal status?
I am not a lawyer, but as a lawmaker, I'm qualified to speak on some certain areas of the Electoral Act,
Yes.
which says that a candidate, and as at then, I was not a candidate of the APC. I was an aspirant. So I have not become the candidate of APC. So, so my defection and defection to the NNPP is in line with the provision of the Electoral Act and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I will not just be disenfranchised and then not allowed to pursue my ambition or my mandate. So.
Yeah, when you said disenfranchised, a lot of people actually were surprised at your exit from the APC, concerning the fact that you were a foundation member, one of the legacy parties that came together to form the APC in 2014, and actually ran and won the ticket of the federal constituency on that platform.
Yes, as I said earlier, Alhaji Ali, the party lacked the internal democratic mechanism, and the reward system is very poor. I've been supporting the party since the beginning to the last day I left the party. I provided the accommodation for the party when nobody was there for them. After we lost the election to PDP in 2019, I provided all vehicles, campaign vehicles to the party, and I keep sponsoring and financing the party, paying even the allowances. So that is the extent that to tell you that the party lack internal democracy and the reward system. And the exercise or the last primary that was conducted is full of all, how will I put it, a lot of discrepancies and let me say, put it this way, a criminal way of conducting primaries. Even the agent that came for the list of agents was mutilated and changed about 30%.
Wonderful.
Without our knowledge, until at the polling unit or at the venue of the primaries, that we found out that 30% of those delegates were changed, and even the electoral officers were appointed by the now candidate of the APC in Bauchi. So we were compelled to seek for another alternative. Yes.
Now, you were recently affirmed, going forward now, when you exit, now you recently affirmed as the gubernatorial candidate of the NNPP. Now, okay, so many scenarios now. Having been most of your political career, you've been a lawmaker. Now you're perhaps preparing to take on executive role. Now, look at the daunting challenges. Aren't you afraid, scared by the daunting challenges? Bauchi is perhaps one of the least states that generates internally generated revenue. Even now, as we speak, there are complaints that so many challenges facing the state. Salaries have not been paid, or they are paid intermittently. And pensioners are complaining. Why would you want to throw your hat into this kind of...
Thank you, Mala Ali, for this very important question. I've not just decided to be the governor of Bauchi State because I just want to be the governor. No. As an engineer, by my training, finding solution to problems is what I know best. And I have put Bauchi State in perspective. First, as a legislator and someone who presided over the House of Assembly, or that's the legislature, the state legislature of Bauchi, I feel I'm the right man for the job. Why? Because I was able to identify those gray areas that I feel we've been advising the then executive governor of Bauchi when I was speaker to diversify the source of IGR. Bauchi has always been a civil servant state. That has to change. The state is blazed with abundant natural resources and human resources and mineral resources in Bauchi State. You will find about 38 different mineral resources, which was said by the cadastral mining zone agency. And when you come to tourism, tourism is richer than oil. And we also discover oil and gas in Al-Kaleri, Kirpi, and other local governments in the state. Why don't we look towards that and see how we can diversify the source of internally generated revenue in Bauchi? Those are some of the blueprints I have for Bauchi State. And then when you come to human and capital development, we'll talk about education, security, health, and other social amenities. And then we'll now move to agriculture, tourism, and so forth, which very soon I will unveil my blueprint for a new Bauchi State, inshallah.
Well, still, you know, this is a very lofty vision. And for you to drive this vision, perhaps you need a workforce. And the workforce, well, giving you a support base now, what is really a support base?
Youths and women, and I've already put on a search for the best brain. That is the local content, Bauchi base, Bauchi origin engineers, technicians, and other things, educationists, both of them. We're going to have a team. It's about a team. My presence there as a governor is just to provide leadership and direction for them. So I'm going to surround myself with the best brain and the best team to change or to bring about new Bauchi State, inshallah.
Well, that's quite a lofty vision.
Thank you.
Now, finally, perhaps, how do you, when you look at the national level now, they just take you slightly away from the politics of Bauchi, the chances of your party now at the national level? How do you rate? Because a lot of people make this reference that, let me just give you an idea, what some people are saying, that there is not likely to be perhaps the NMPP giving a strong regional presence. Some people say that, just like the Labour Party now, for example. In the Southeast, the Labour Party is seen as a strong regional party. Now, if you look at all these two parties now, what are the chances perhaps of the NMPP making any headway nationally?
I don't want to be a prophet of doom, but I believe the dynamics will change. Sooner or later, I believe that somehow, somewhere, there's going to be a kind of arrangement. But I believe Dr. Rabiu Musa Konkoso is one of the best candidates to beat in this country. Why? Because of his vast of experience on both the legislative and the executive side, and the private sector. So I think if Nigeria wants a focus on a dynamic and a strong leader, upright leader, that is what Nigeria requires now. I think Engineer Rabi Musa Konkoso is going to fit in there perfectly. That's my opinion.
Well, thank you, Senator Halliru Dauda Jika, for responding to our invitation.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, viewers, in the last couple of minutes, almost half an hour, we've been talking with Senator Halliru Dauda Jika, Dogajin Bauchi, who graced our studio today. And he has spoken on a number of issues, especially the changing dynamics of Bauchi politics and how young, especially his constituency, women and youth, have responded to his defection to the New Nigeria People's Party. So thank you very much for staying with us. Goodbye till we meet again.